Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.
Prison does strange things to you, but poor prison conditions are a price we're willing to pay. Because we obviously need that other cell empty for some reason. You are the hero, and somebody torched your family ranch and killed your mother and brother. It's your job to find the culprit. You start with a single clue, and work from there. And this will entail doing some odd jobs in the odd part of the West. More clues to the identity of the assailant being your reward, until you have a clear enough picture to identify the culprit. Scouring the two towns for them, comparing citizens to the description you have available, and then you get them. Sure, technically you can find the killer by randomly shooting, but that really takes away from the magic, robbing you of the surprising jolt you feel when comparing a person to a wanted poster. Realizing this is the person you're looking for, the killer, or just some other bounty you're looking for to make some quick cash. Story-wise, the main quest doesn't really have much to it, but the ending sequence I believe can change depending on the questline you followed to get the necessary clues. I'm not sure though, the achievements seem to indicate that this is possible. I just tried to complete as many quests as possible because I'm a mild completionist. Well, those that still made me the good guy at least. Getting those different story endings, as well as the achievements for those story endings, can be quite finicky. Do the wrong quest and other quests can become impossible to complete, and thus you can't complete the quest line. Or maybe complete too many quests on a different quest line and trigger a different ending, ruining the ending you were trying to get. Oh come on, you're the villain! How was I supposed to know that killing them and the banker was something you wouldn't want? And how on earth am I supposed to work with the sheriff while at the same time befriending some outlaws because they're the only ones willing to become his deputies? And thus they're the only ones that can help you complete his questline. According to online message boards, it's possible, but it's a slog. Especially since this game doesn't have a manual save function. Only autosave? You can't just load when you make a mistake. As for the quest lines you have to complete, their plots are okay. Pretty much basic Western stuff, but it does have some humorous flourishes. And the dialogue and the world itself is pretty funny as well. The townsfolk have funny conversations with you. Your hit points are hats that get shot off your head. The hero says I and my in an amusing fashion. Plus the brilliance of you being able to threaten and kill pretty much anyone in this game and draw your weapon on them mid-conversation. Even important characters. It's just a funny world. Yet somehow that doesn't make the quest feel unimportant. To me at least it felt like a proper serious quest. The gorgeous pixel art open world is probably partially to blame for that. Open plains, dark mines, the forest, the desert. And if for you the visual nicety isn't enough to overcome the goofiness, the game does have a lovely Western themed score. Violin, harmonica, a saloon piano. It just helps it feel epic. Plus you can pretty much choose what you want to do. There are a lot of different avenues and quest lines towards getting the necessary amount of clues, and eventually find the culprit. You can be a bounty hunter and help the sheriff, be a hero, be a scourge, be feared, save a town from a drought, rob a bank and kill most of the town. You're free to explore and help who you want. You can also find secrets, and essentially you play the role of a detective, a position that's inherently in tune with gravitas and mystery. Gameplay-wise, the combat deals in gunfighting, with a couple of weapons to choose from. Revolver, dual revolver, shotgun, rifle. One of the characters has a tomahawk that they throw, I believe. And finally bolas to capture your prey alive. Though getting them back to the sheriff's office is quite a faff. And the gameplay is surprisingly fun, especially when you consider that you can move in 4 directions, but only shoot horizontally. It's fun to shoot hats off people. And lining up your shots feels surprisingly nice. Just make sure you're beneath them enough to miss their shots, but in line with them enough that yours hit them. And spamming the reload button feels fun and frantic. You can hire an AI helper, or have a friend play with you in co-op. But it is quite easy to accidentally shoot your allies because of the mechanics involved in 2D gunfighting. But it is a nice bonus though, and the game is controller flexible. I've tested it with an official high-end Xbox controller, as well as some less official brands. The game is short though, it only took me 7 hours to complete my first run through. And I tried to complete as many of the good guy quests as possible. Maybe if you really try and get all of the different endings, you may be able to squeeze a few more hours out of it. Hopefully you'll manage to separate the quest lines enough to keep different runs exciting and fresh. The game is cheap on Steam, 159 Rand full price, 31 Rand 80 on sale, which is 4 Rand 55 per hour of gameplay, which isn't amazing, but it's pretty good. Also, it's only 197 megabytes on the hard drive, so it's quite a small download. Plus, the game does work on the Warhorse. Without incident, I believe. But stereotypically, it isn't that kid-friendly. Violence, weird suggestive themes, and the depiction of the USA tribe in this game is a bit broad and stereotypic, more based on the westerns that this game parodies than anything real, I would guess, but I'm not sure. But some of the depiction is kind of smart, and on one occasion it gets real. There are quest lines, however, where you can join the US military and attack them, but there is also, I believe, a quest line where you can join them and attack the US military. I'm not sure, I only completed the quest line where you negotiate a ridiculously easy peace between them. So you have to bear all that in mind when deciding whether this is appropriate for you and your children. The game has good pixel art visuals, at times beautiful, a nice open world. Plus it has great western music. It makes this humorous world feel serious. And the mechanic of finding clues and then trying to find the culprit based on that description is unique and brilliant. Almost as fun as the mechanic of being able to draw your gun on anyone mid-sentence. And the world and dialogue are funny, yet also kind of mysterious and serious. The world is small, yet it feels like there's much more to it than there is. On the maybe side, the plot is okay. Nothing too strenuous, but when you find the killer, the ending sequence can be touching. And while I find the combat quite fun, and think that the game is short enough that it doesn't overstay its welcome, some people may find it too simplistic, maybe even a bit annoying. Especially when you consider just how easy it is to accidentally kill allies because of those mechanics. And some people might find the lining up aspect of it a bit rigid. May find that the character feels a bit less mobile because of it. Plus I feel in this game, range and rate of fire are more important, so the shotgun really doesn't have that much of a place here. Thus I put the combat in maybes. On the con side, the way they chose to approach quests, quest lines, and how the ending sequence trigger is annoying and finicky. There's nothing to stop you from triggering an ending you didn't want. Very easy in fact to complete a quest that will do that. Plus there's no manual save function to create a point to return to before triggers were activated. Just an autosave function. And sometimes a quest line on its own won't give enough clues to know for sure who the culprit is. So you're going to have to dip into some other quests. Sure, some are standalone, but I don't think you will always know which are standalone. And I believe when I tried to activate other endings, it did not work multiple times. It's probably just too easy for the wrong ending to activate. And then you get fed up and you stop trying. Come on, play this game, Pilgrim. Experience the beauty and wonder of the West. Ah, scorpions!
Cheap, cheap, cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap.